Hey, welcome back to Wildcat Guitars, and we're in season 2 of our favorite guitar in the shop. Today we're going to be doing Rivolta, but first I'd like to introduce you to our newest team member, Shad. He's come to us from a couple of different companies. Maybe some of you know him as a sales rep or whatever, but we're super excited to have Shad on our team. Very knowledgeable, great guy, and
thanks.
Great player. So anyway, I want to turn it over to Shad and have him introduce Rivolta.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to thank Alex and everybody here. It's an amazing place to work. I've known these guys for a long time, professionally outside of actually working here, and forged a friendship over the years, and it's been great. And so it was a natural fit for me to want to be here. Plus, you're surrounded by amazing guitars all day, so it doesn't get much better than that. But okay, let's talk about Rivolta. I have some history and some background with the company, so I know a little bit about them. Rivolta is a company that was, as you can see, anybody who's familiar with Dennis Fano guitars or Novo guitars can see that these designs are clearly from the mind of Dennis Fano. So he partnered with Mike from Eastwood Guitars to kind of create a company that was sort of co-owned by both of them. So Dennis is responsible for all of the specs, all of the design aspects of the guitars, and then Mike handles the manufacturing of the guitars. They're all made in Korea in the same factory that makes Reverend guitars and also does some of the Duesenberg stuff. So they're very high quality guitars, and for the price, they're hard to beat. So just kind of showcasing some of the models. One other thing to mention is all of these guitars go from Korea to Nashville. To Novo guitars in Nashville, and Dennis has hired and designated a guy that goes through QCs every single one of these guitars before they go out to the dealers. So you have, great quality control. Any issues at all are caught well before they get to the dealer, and most importantly, before they get to you, the customer. At our level here at the dealer, of course, we go through every guitar before it ships to you because we want to make sure they're perfect. But it's just another way to double check and make sure everything's good. So let's talk about some of the unique features of the Rivolta line. We have a good variety of the different models. The Combinata, Mondata, and the Regattas are really cool too. We'll talk a little bit about those. But one of the unique things, and I will say that all of the pickups are designed by Dennis Fano. So he basically told, the people who are winding these what he wants, and they went back and forth for a while to make sure that all of the tones in the guitars met with his specifications, such as these P90s here. But one of the unique features about this guitar is with a 3 pickup guitar like this, you can get a lot of variety of tones. So this switch here is kind of like the magic. When this is down, the middle pickup is out. So you're basically using this switch to control a normal 3-way like you would. You have bridge and neck, and you have neck. Now, when you bring this switch in the middle position, that now turns this middle pickup on, so we can get the combination of the bridge and middle, which is one of my favorites. It's a really, really great sound. Here in the middle, we have now all 3 pickups, and then here, we have middle and neck, which is really cool. And then if you put the switch in the up position, you have just the neck. So you get a lot of tonal variation from this guitar, which is really cool. And moving over here to the Mondata, now this has basically what would be considered like Firebird pickups. They're a little different than mini humbuckers, the same way that Firebird pickups are slightly different than mini humbuckers. They have a really single coil, bright, kind of chimey characteristic to them, which is really cool. No hum, of course, which is nice, but they also give you sort of that middle, and it's sort of in the way a Filtertron would, where you get sort of that blend of single coil and humbucker things, and this guitar does that well. Same switching thing here, where we have the middle pickup that we can control via this switch. So this is the same as that, but these little mini Firebird pickups are really, really cool, and this guitar sounds great. And then the last thing I would talk about is the Regattas. So this is a nice alternative to some of the other semi-hollow guitars that are out there. Obviously, this is a nod to the 335 style body, but you can see that the body is offset, which is really characteristic of Dennis's designs. He really loves offset style guitars. And if you are a fan of Fano or Novo guitars, you'll know that almost everything is offset. And that comes through here as well. This one's black with gold hardware, very, very classy looking guitar. And I really like the headstock design in that he has done the 6 on a side, which is nice because as you can see, you get straight string pull to each tuner. And one of the characteristic problems with 6 or 3 per side with some guitars is that you can have some tuning instability as a result, but these are all straight, which is really cool. And it sort of just has a little bit of a unique vibe to it, which is cool. Then you have really the more classic, the Combinata, which great body style design, wraparound bridge with 2 P90s. I mean, pretty rock and roll. Can't get much more classic than that. 3-way switch. And the P90s in these sound really, really good. Certainly, some people have their favorite pickups and may do some swapping, but the great thing about buying a guitar like this is, as affordable as they are, if you wanted to put your favorite pickups in them or something, it's not a big deal to do that. But lastly, and what I would mostly want to focus on is this guy. This is the Mondata Baritone. Now, baritone guitars have been around forever. If you listen to any old recordings from the 50s and 60s, you'll hear baritones often, but they've gotten very popular lately. And one of the cool things about having a baritone is that if you've ever sat down and played one, it's sonically so much different than a guitar and a bass, but it sits right in the middle. So it gives you all these new sounds that will really, a lot of times just bring out new ways of playing and new ideas, new creativity, which is really great. And the great thing about these baritones is, there are some really awesome baritones on the market, and some of them are pretty pricey, but you can get into these really affordably. And this is a very, very well-made guitar that's going to do great for you. And having a baritone is probably not the guitar you're going to grab all the time. It's not going to be your daily player, but it does provide some interesting sonic ideas that you can't get from anything else. So having one of these in your collection is really awesome. And this one does some unique things. We have the humbucker and the P90, controlled by a 3-way switch, of course, but you also have this. We have here, this switch will split the humbucker so you can get some single coil tones, and this changes the phase of the pickups so you can get some interesting sounds that way as well. So really a great guitar to have in your collection. A baritone is, for me, I think is really a must-have. I personally have this exact guitar in this finish, the Fiocco Burst. But all of the finishes are great, and I think Alex will agree. The quality of the guitars, the finishes, the fit and finish, the fretwork, it's all really, really good and consistent with guitars that we see that are much more expensive.
Oh, absolutely. I would 100% agree with that. The playability is definitely right up there with the best of, the best of the best, the most expensive guitars in the shop. I'm going to jump on in. Want to talk about the Mondata here for a second. Just aesthetically, really cool guitar. Obviously, we talked about the pickups and everything. One of the things I really dig on this guitar is the 2 pick guards. It's kind of like a plexi thing. It's really cool, but it ties in up here on the headstock with the color of the Rivolta logo and the truss rod cover. And so this is just, to me, it's very classic, but at the same time, it's a very updated classic look. So it's a very cool guitar, very cool like offset design with the 3 pickups, as Shad explained earlier, just extremely, extremely versatile.
And one thing I forgot to mention that I'll jump back in on, you don't normally see a German carve at this price point.
Right.
That's a really, really nice feature that usually you only find on guitars that are a whole lot more expensive than that.
Definitely. And also, to point out really quick, the trim system. Very cool trim system, very different from what you see, especially in this price point. Something that's very cool. If you don't like using your trim and you don't want a bar on there, obviously it's very easy to just get it out of your way. But it's just a very cool, again, aesthetically cool option on these. So then my next favorite would be this combinata here. I love I think it's ice blue metallic, but it's just a really cool guitar. Very alternative, I would say. Like, it makes me definitely think of like my youth in the 90s. So I love the inlays on this guy. And then just the two P90s, the chrome cover P90s, very cool. I love the chrome cover on the P90s. Not something you see all the time.
Right.
It's usually like a cream or a black or something like that. So the chrome P90s, very cool way to stand out, especially in this price point. But I think my favorite is going to be the Regatta. I love semi-hollows. I love hollow bodies. Does it have a center block?
Yeah.
So very cool, very vintage inspired. But like Shad said, it's offset, so it's got a really cool, profile to it. I really loved how they pointed the horns, though. It really give it a different and unique look there from the 335s, from the Lightnings,
Right.
and all that other stuff. And also the F holes are a little bit more, kind of fancy than what you would normally get. And also kind of a cool touch to that. But I love this natural kind of look. It's like Acero burst or something like that. I can't remember what they call it. But so just a very cool look, very cool guitar. And if you're just looking for something that's going to stand out and play great and sound great, like, this could be a guitar you buy your forever guitar.
Totally.
And this is a price that's not going to break the bank, like Shad said. So these are really incredible instruments. And if you haven't tried them out, I would definitely find a place to try them out. If you haven't tried Novo guitars, try those as well, and Eastwood as well. They're just making really great guitars, especially in their price points.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So anyway, that's it for us today with the Rivolta guitars, and stay tuned for more favorite guitar in the shop videos.